So fast. See, here it is. So today's notepad is important. Why? Because everything key points, like the main points, I put it here. So first one is dash. It is a storage type kind of stuff. Storage dash means direct or directly, direct or directly attached storage. It means your storage device means either it is a hard disk or an external hard disk, or maybe SCSI devices are directly connected. So you can see from here it is, um, this is my PC. I have a hard disk inside, or maybe I have a hard disk which is connected through USB, okay, or maybe I have a SCSI controller. Maybe I have a SCSI controller directly. I connect a hard disk here. Okay, the storage is directly connected. So when it is directly connected to a system, so that we call it as a DAS, directly attached storage. So all our systems are directly attached storage. All our systems are directly attached storage. It means hard disk in system or external hard disk or SSD or anything. Okay, external hard disk connected to our system directly. That is also external one. Okay. Um, SCSI, SCSI connections, SCSI disk. So these are a disk, and based on the connections attachments, so we call that one as a directly attached storage. Easy to configure, inexpensive solutions. All our systems are DAS only. What are the disadvantages? Isolated because of disk are attached to a single server, less flexibility for allocations. Means this is dedicated for that server only, but if you want to access through centrally, it is little bit difficult in a accessing purpose. Okay. Next one is a NAS. NAS is a storage that is attached to dedicated storage device attached through access through network share. Okay. Next type is central. Central storages. Central storages are mainly two type. One is NAS, another one is SAN. NAS means network attached storage. Network attached storage means through network we can able to access it. So I just copy paste it because it's easy to access from it. Okay. So NAS is like a storage bay. So storage is stores in a like iSCSI I shown no. Similarly, are same. Okay. So here is my storage place is there. You okay? And for example, um, maybe it's connected to server or anything. So or maybe I have a file server. File server is connected to this one. Okay. So users want to store any data. Users want to store their data, they will store into NAS. They can store the data into NAS through the network, through the network directly. So everything is connected to network. Okay, everything is connected to the network through the network. So I use like an IP address and a folder name. So like a sharing only. I think you practice a Windows sharing or a NFS sharing. Okay, so in Windows sharing folders, so like that you can access through sharing this folder. But what is this file server will do it? File server will maintain where is the storage system, quotas, okay, the quota management, how much user can able to store the data, what type of data you can store it, where is the location of that folder, like that. Permissions of a user can able to access, read permission, write permissions, like that will provided by this PC only, means file system server only, sorry, file server only. Okay, so how to access this one? Using different protocols we can access the remote data. Using a different protocols we can access the data. So main protocols are NFS and CIFS. What is NFS? Network file system. What is CIFS? Common internet file system. Okay, so better to verify in as far as spelling kind of stuff. CIFS full form. Okay, so common internet file system. So is a dialect of SMB. Okay, server message block protocol. So it is actually Samba service. GFS in a Linux we call it as a Samba. CAFS in a Windows we call it as a SMB. So this is the SMB is another protocol, server message block. Okay, not only this one, other protocols also we can use it, like a FTP for storing data to remotely, file transfer protocol, HTTP protocols also useful for it. So some of the protocols like a TFTP for storing a configuration kind of stuff. So main protocols are NFS, CAFS, SMB, and FTP protocols, and HTTP is extra, and TFTP for storing a configuration protocol in remote PCs. But it won't comes under directly NAS kind of stuff. But these are all comes under NAS kind of stuff, like a network attached storage. So very simply say it is like file sharing type. Simply say it is like file or a folder sharing. Okay, so what is this? Again I will explain very simple, because next one after SAN, then I will tell one word, then people start confusing in it. Simply think like this: this is my system. I have a folder. The folder name is, for example, data 1. Okay, I shared this folder, and I have a multiple PCs are there. Okay, so what these PCs are doing, so they're accessing this folder through network. How can they access this folder through network? Because I shared it, so other PCs can able to access through the network. Okay, so that is what we are saying, it is NF, network attached storage. But here it is, we create a folder and manage permissions access with a particular server or application. We can control it. So we use a servers services or an application. We can use this kind of stuff, something to control this access. Okay, to control this access. Control means like create and manage access kind of stuff. So accessing we can able to control with the different things, like how much user can able to store, which user can able to access, which user read and write access on it. Guys, this is the folder. In the folder, what do you store? You have a folder. It means what you store in the folder? Files and folders only. Okay, it is a, like a shared folder. It is like a file based storing system. Okay, if, for example, I have a data I want to store into my remote location, into the different location, then we can say like we can use NAS for that. You can buy NAS your own. You can buy your own NAS also, and same Amazon or Flipkart you can go. Okay, see, can you see, this is NAS boxes. These are all NAS boxes only. So 27,000 700 2 GB RAM, 1.6 GB gigahertz, sorry, gigahertz CPU, DDR3 RAM it is, and that's only box, I think so. So this is nothing but a box. It does not showing how much storage. It is a 2-bay NAS. It is showing 2-bay NAS means it contains two racks, so you can able to connect it. Okay, so 2.5 we can't put it, so you can put a 3.5 disk types. So it is showing how to connect it. No internal architecture is not giving, not even outer layer also not giving, only this side. So 24 terabyte, up to 24 terabyte of disk we can able to connect it. Okay, it contains a processor RAM. Why? Because of you can able to put a data inside. See, you can see this is 4 by NAS. So I'm closing the previous one. Okay, see here you can see this is a directly enclosures are there. You can see here it is on off LED light status. It is connected, not connected. Lock symbol in down. We can lock it to accidentally removing and all. Power on and disk active or not. Okay, here it is topology like connections. There is a USB also given. Nothing, no extra pictures, but you can try pictures. It is a 4 by NAS. 4 hard disks we can able to insert it. If you go to the details also, like is it support any other things, what we can able to store, just you have to buy one. Where is the old one is direct storages are there. Here is a door is also there. See, it is disk we can able to connect it, and usually new ones are coming with a Wi-Fi and as well as a wide connection also. It means what is this? So like a system base. That's why it is cost is very less. It is not giving that part here. We can lock it also. It is a NAS cases. Um, in generally like NIC it will be there. So like that boxes, those boxes you see that contains a hard disk. So we can insert a hard disk into that one like this. You can insert a hard disk. Okay, how many disks you required, you can insert the hard disk, and this one is connected to network, means NIC will be there. It is connected to your thing. So what you have to do, from your system you have to open this portal will be there like a IP address like this, like how you manage a router interface. Same thing, this is also contains a motherboard, RAM, basic interface application will be there, default one. So access from your PC, and like you are a manager now, you are managing, and you can create a folders, and you can put the data, upload the data for here. Like your PC having lot of data, so you don't know how where to put it, and you want to access whenever you want it, so you can keep it in one side and you can access from any place. So to show you that one, I'm searching for a little older one because that contains very good pictures. something. Okay, yeah, this is a picture. These are the details, but you can see, okay, no problem, at least it will see I put all movies in this one, so I can connect it to my mobile, and like this, like any device you can able to access, we can upload the data, download the data from the NAS devices. You can also buy in the market. SAN you can't buy, but NAS we can buy. Yeah, finally, Synologist. So you can see how many discs are there, and there is a backside port is there. It is very slow now. Yeah. So can you see there is a LAN port is also there. USB and as well as a LAN port is also there. Simply you can, they will give you how to access interface ID through your browser or a app. We can able to connect it, and we can able to access. And also they will give you a one detail like how many volumes we can able to create it. Like if you want a data protection, so you can create your own mirror inside. When you are purchasing this kind of stuff, like you want to purchase really, like you want to put it, so make sure it contains a disk, or you have to purchase the disk extra. Okay, two disk only, two LANs, two NICs are there here for this one. Okay, like this. If it is an empty one, so then you have to purchase hard disk for this one. So this is a supporting NAS, 4 terabyte NAS internal hard disk drive. This is supporting for NAS purpose. So just we have to insert it, automatically it will lock inside. Okay. Any data you can able to sync your system data to it. So to show you that one only, I am searching and doing that one. Okay. So that is a NAS, very simple. Store the data in a centrally in a files, folders will usually stores file, means file, pictures, movies. These are all files only, right? So we put a data in the system, it's like a files and folder wise in the NAS. And also we can control with a centralized system like a uh, file server for access permissions. So like this. And NAS is usually Ethernet base, so you don't require any fiber optical channels to access it. It is a slower, but it is a, moderated solution. Means uh, relatively inexpensive. NAS offers centralized storage at affordable price. It means you can afford it. Like if you are a home or a, small organization or a medium organizations, still we can go with a centralized storage. Easy to configure. Why centralized? Because multiple users can able to store the data and access the data, right? So that's why we put it in a centralized one. Slower access time because of Ethernet, not a enterprise solutions. It is not for a enterprise part. Next one is a SAN. SAN means storage area network. So another technology, it means normally attach will come now. So obviously people think it is a storage attached network. It is not storage attached network, it is a storage area network. Just like your LAN, local area network, wide area network, it is a storage area network. So in this storage area network, so what is there, how it is there, it is a very costly and it is a enterprise solution. Okay, first of all, it is a costliest one. Okay, it is a more expensive, but it is a centralized server, and it is not much easy to manage that one. We need a special kind of attention, but it is a highly redundant. If you see in this structure, like it is a servers, switches, storage devices. It means one way or other way, means there is a storage and you are accessing, the line is damaged, still no problem. So you can see this is connected to here, connected to here, connected to here, and as well as connected to here. Okay, so if you see this arrow marks, which topology it is? This device is connected to this one and as well as this one. This is connected to this one and as well as this one. Both are connected to this one. See, which type of topology it is? Any guess? Everything is connected to everything. Star. Star means you have required a centralized device. Through centralized device, all systems are communicate. Hub or a switch is a centralized device. If you connect a device to all other devices, which topology? Very good. Okay, so storage area network is very costly, and we use a fiber channels generally, or we use a through network. You want to access, we can use iSCSI type of protocols also. Okay, there is a certain words here. It is HBA, like a host bus controller adapter to connect SAN storage devices. Different type of there is a switches to connect your SAN storages. Okay, so like that, it will be, it is host bus adapters for connecting your storage devices. Because of it is a fiber channel, faster data transmission is required. It is enterprise, means lot of data will be generated, so then read and writing of data, processing of data is for that power purpose, we use a fiber channels. Okay. Mm. And also iSCSI kind of protocols we use it. So here it is. So implementing SAN by using fiber channels by connecting, or iSCSI base also we can able to create a high level of redundancy. So what is the high level of redundancy? Means if one switch is down, no problem, through other switch we can able to access it. One line is down, no problem, through other line we can able to access. So that is very important in a SAN network. Okay, it is nothing but a storage way like this only. Okay, it is nothing but there is a storage bay. Always there is a storage base. It means it's kind of devices are connected. Okay, these this total box is connected through network. Either it is a fiber optical cable. Usually they use a fiber optical cable, and they connected to storage servers. Through storage servers, it's a different type of storage servers, like a Windows storage servers are there. Usually in a market, it is NetApp. It's an application to manage these storages. So what they will do in this storage, they'll create a LUNs. What is the LUN? Logical unit number. What is the LUN? Logical unit number. This is another word you have to go through it. Okay, logical unit number. It means they create in the storage a particular disk space inside. They create a one LAN here. So for example, this is a LAN. Okay, this is a LAN. This LAN has a certain number. I have a server is running here. So some server. Okay, there is a server is running. What I will do through this application, I assign this storage space to this server. For example, this is around 100 GB. Okay, this LAN size is 100 GB. Assign 100 GB here. It will attach this 100 GB to this server. So this server can store data. What are the data here? Data we can able to store in this one, but actually it is storing here. the data stores. Yeah, it is yellow color. I sir will get pain. Okay, so if you see here, it is, this is a LAN. LAN means logically this is a partition. Like we create a C drive, D drive, like that only we create a LAN through the your storage server or a application like a NetApp kind of stuff. Using that one in our storage way, we'll create a one LAN. This LAN will assign to a machine, means either it is a server or a desktop. Through network we can assign it. So obviously when you open a disk management, the disk 0, disk 1 it is showing, right? Similarly, how it is shows it is a local disk, it shows here also. Okay, how your local disk is showing, it is showing here directly, it is like a local disk. But actually this disk is located in a remotely, but it is look like it is in a locally only. Okay, how you, if you are accessing some machine, remote machine from our PC, it's look like it is running here. But same thing is, your disk will be in a different location, but here it attached to our local PC. So this is the how SAN works. They use a fiber optical channels for faster database data connection. But whenever 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 we are in a regular LAN network, so regular LAN network is Ethernet based, right? Regular LAN network is Ethernet based. Regular LAN network is Ethernet based, but internally servers, storage connections are fiber optical connections. This is a fiber optic connection, and this is Ethernet connection. So the PCs, you want to store the data or access the data from there, it is very difficult. Like that is fiber optical, okay, but this is Ethernet. So what they will use, they use a kind of switches. Okay, the switch is like, this is connected to Ethernet. The converter switches will be there. That will, we call it as a FCOE, fiber optical over Ethernet. So I will note that one also. FCOE, just like your PPPoE, same thing. It is fiber channel or Ethernet. Okay, fiber channel or Ethernet. That is FCOE. Okay, so this is about your things. Mm. SAN has a lot of things, like one day we can't cover. That is a special course for a SAN. Okay, so here we comparison. DAS is the least complex and lowest setup cost. So for a DAS, you don't require any skills. Just it is a system with a internal hard disk or external hard disk directly attached to command. NAS is a centralized storage. Um, it will give you centralized storage kind of stuff, file storage kind of stuff. Means file based storage it is there. NAS and SAN, it is a comparatively, like you can't able to put your own NAS. If in case, then we can go, sorry, SAN is a challenge for you if in case you can't go with a SAN one. So you can use a NAS for a store the data in centrally. Okay, it uses protocols like a NFS, EFS. Just like NAS is nothing but a sharing file system only. I'll close the door. Okay. Next one is a SAN. SAN is a enterprise solution for centrally storages. They use SAN switches and storage servers, which connects your storage space. It is high redundant, complex in creation, but it is required a person, application management person. Okay. like that. It is like a block level storage. I will explain that block level and this one. Yeah, block level storage is a high performance storage, often SAN based, present lens to servers, not the most cost effective. File level storage is a um, delivered via NAS storage server or a file server. Okay, use CFS, SMB shared folder or NFS export. Um, Block level storage on a storage backend, that is a different one. So we'll go to the diagram again. Same thing only, but I will rewrite again. See, block level storage means I have a server, some server in the network, virtual or a physical one. Okay, there is a machine. It needed to store the data in centrally. So two solutions. One is NAS, another one is Sansul for central storages. If I use NAS or iSCSI thing, what happened? So then, what is this block level? You can understand. This server asking like I want to store the data. It's just like how I store in my local hard disk. I want to store the data, but not in a folder, in a particular drive type like a D drive, E drive. How I storing a data? Same way I want to store the data. Guys, understand how you store the data in hard disk? Like that, I want to store the data in a centrally. So what I do? Through my system, I'm giving a hard disk to it. For example, is asking a 100 GB hard disk. So I'm giving 100 GB hard disk to it. Directly 100 GB hard disk will be attached here without physically attaching. Without physically attaching, I gave 100 GB to as well. But where is this 100 GB? 100 GB is in our storage bay. Okay, in this storage, number of hard disk are there in the storage, right? So in this from the storages using our SAN application or a SAN server. Okay, using this one, so I will assign to it. So I will tell take 100 GB from here. I took a 100 GB from here and I will assign to this server directly. Okay, so I will manage it from here. This is like a your SAN console or a SAN application or a file server, whatever the name you put it. So this is really control to create it. So this part we call it as a LUN, LUN. Okay, so we'll create a 100 GB LUN from a existing storage through network. I'm assigning to server 1. I told server 1 take 100 GB now. Then whenever server 1 automatically, so once it's automatically, it will attach 100 GB disk here. For server 1 it is look like in a disk management, it is look like it is a local disk, but actually it is data stores here. So this is SAN. Same scenario but different way. Same scenario, different way. Here it is. This is a server. Server name is server 1. Okay, and server want to store a data in a folder. It has some data, or you want to store a data in a folder. You want to store a data in a folder, but not in a local. But not in a local. So, for example, folder name is data one. Folder name is data one. Now, in my organization, what I do, I take a file server. Of course, I have a storage bay. It means wherever the storage available. For example, I have a multiple hard disk. In one hard disk, I will create a folder. Okay, I will create a folder here. Okay, and I assign this folder. I shared this folder to server. I given a permission for this machine or a user, for a machine or a user. So if you put a data anything, you put a data here, the data will be stored here. Okay, data stores here. So I take a folder, and in the I create a folder. I assign this folder to servers. I share the folder using different techniques like either NFS type. So NFS use a technique called a export. Okay, export means you create a folder and you export those things. So client will request if matches username, password, read and write permissions, IP address matches, then automatically you can able to access the folder. Or you can use like another technique like a CAFS kind of stuff. Okay, SMB kind of stuff. Any sharing technique you can use it, and you share the folder, and the folder is accessing from here. So folder means you are put a files and folders in it, so that's why this is called a file based. Okay, it is called a file based storage. And this one is a block you are accessing. You are not accessing a folder or a file here, and you are not storing a file and folder just like that one. So you are not accessing, very simply say, you are not accessing a file or folder here. You are not accessing a folder, not shared folder. You are accessing a block, means enter one hard disk type. Enter hard disk, enter a hard disk you are accessing. So that we call it as a block level storage. Block level storage, file level storage, sorry, you can say file based also, no problem. Okay, but as a given, so we have to say it's a file level storage, sorry. What is file level storage? The storage technique we use in a NAS, using a sharing technique like a NFS, CFS, SMB, sharing protocols. Okay, and you're accessing a folder, and you put a data into the folder, just like you are mounting into your PC. Okay, network folder, simply say it is a network drive. Okay, you are mounting here means this is a network drive. In this network drive you store the data. So this is called network drive. You have a C drive, D drive, that is a hard disk drives. But this drive, where you put a drive data inside, that is a network drive. So this kind of technique we call it as a NAS. Here it is normal Ethernet, very less cost. It is a file level type of storage it is. And there is a last point it is there. Use block level storage on the storage backend. It means whether it is a file or folder stores in a hard disk, right? So you can access a block level storage, and you can share the folder from it, so then it is become file level storage. Okay, so that's the point here it is. So this is the block. In this block you create a folder and share the folder, and other machines are storing the data like a centrally, like it is a block level storage. On top of block level storage you can create a file level storage also. So NAS and SAN are not, both are not different kind of stuff. Both are almost same. Both are for a centralized storages only. Remember, that's why I'm telling each point two, three times. If you don't understand also for one time, second time at least you will get it. So what is this fiber channel? It is a SAN computer with a HBA card. Already I shown, I think so. If you want, I can show you to. I will show you again. Uh, HBA, host bus adapter, HBA card is better, or fiber channel. Okay. You can see this is a HBA cards are there. You can see here it is a 4 GB fiber, and you can see there is a 1, 2, 3, 4 connections are there. This is one unit, another unit, and this is no. Actually, this is wrong. I said it is two only there. It is actually like this one, two parts, like two connections. You can connect it to one. This is a single one, fiber optical channels. Okay, so 10 Gbps, 4 Gbps, 8 Gbps type of things are there. Dual channel, single channel is also there, like you can able to connect it. Okay, so what is the this one fiber channel? To fiber optical cable you can transfer the data. Okay, fiber channel switch, we need a fiber channel switches also. Give you benefits of fiber channel while using inexpensive and a pre-existing ethernet infrastructure. FCOE, fiber channel over Ethernet. So, what is this fiber channel over Ethernet? For example, my server, storages, switches for data transmission internally for my storage room or a server room, they use a fiber channel. But regular network, we can't give fiber cables for each and every laptop and desktop in the network, right? So, but we are accessing storage. Okay, so what they will do over Ethernet means if there is a converter, FCOE converter will be there, fiber channel data transmission to Ethernet channel, so that will convert into Ethernet electrical signal, we can able to access it. Fiber channel layout include abbreviated loop, point to point, or fiber switched fabrics. That is something it is. In existing switch, this is normal one, so we don't need. This is a iSCSI. So another part of your storage technique is iSCSI. Mm, yeah, I will tell iSCSI, but I can do practical in a iSCSI also. Same thing, same depression. So storage, right? So I will search for a thing. Like when I done practical iSCSI, which is working also, I didn't remember. Try in my channel like okay, very earlier days I told this iSCSI, different parts are there. iSCSI 7, iSCSI 11. This is this year. Yeah, this is starting first batch time. 3 months ago. I think it is April, means second batch. 12th, that is, maybe I didn't done practical. So older guarantee data will be there. So, okay, so like iSCSI part 4, March batch. So you can try, you can find it. Yeah, I didn't exactly remember, but which one is we done successful. So try, this is last year batch one. Link is not there, guys. Like this, you can search it, find it Walder. So definitely it will be there. If you find it, share the link in group. So how to do iSCSI in a Windows servers? We can do it very easily. Okay. So last one is iSCSI. I will explain it and then we'll go to the next one. So one part will be finished anyway. So I'm removing this diagram. I don't like this one. So many colors, no neatness. Okay, what is this iSCSI? It is same as a SCSI as we discussed earlier. It's the same as a SCSI. Terminologies came from there only. But as I said in a earlier, like your storage kind of stuff, same thing. This is a iSCSI storage box or just a storage bay. To it is simplify SAN solutions into normal solutions. Means a lot of switches regulators are required there, but here iSCSI also, we using iSCSI also we can get a centralized storage and block level storage. iSCSI will give you block level storage. I may have written this one. Okay. NAS, file level storage, SAN, block, BLO, block level storage. Mm, iSCSI also block level storage, because it is not a separate one. We can, SAN is a concept only. SAN is a concept. SAN is a technology. SAN is a concept, but SAN is not an application. Through some applications or a servers, we can create as a SAN. Okay, we can create a LANs and we can assign a LANs to remote PCs. So usually in a SAN, what we do in a SAN, what we do, we create a LANs. We create LANs. LANs means a disk space. Okay, some disk space like 100 GB, 200 GB disk space. We create a LANs and we assign these LANs to remote servers to network, either it is fiber optical network or normal network. Okay, and these LANs attached to server as a local disk. Local disk. So that is what we call as a block level storage. Okay. Same for a iSCSI. In iSCSI also same thing. So here is my storage. Either it is any place. Okay. So what we will do, actually we create a LANs in a SAN, that is a terminology. But here it is, we'll create a iSCSI disk. Um, use some good color. So here we create a iSCSI virtual disk. Actually, we create iSCSI virtual disk with a certain size. Okay. So, for example, it is also like a 100 GB disk I created, virtual hard disk in a my storage, wherever the locations. Okay. Storage I created. Next, this is my server. Okay. I will put a names for explanation. This is my um, this is my iSCSI server or a file server. We can say it is a file server, or we can say now it is iSCSI server type. So if you say iSCSI server means iSCSI target server. Okay, iSCSI target server. Target. So what I will do, this is my one server. For example, server name is server one. Guys, simply understand. Okay, I am not asking understand or not also. I didn't check your questions. I didn't check your responses also. Someone put something. Yeah, okay. Mesh. Very good. Mesh topology. Correct. That is a correct answer. Okay. Everything is connected to everything is a mesh topology. Just I'm keep going. That's why I forget to ask also. No one is talking. No one is disturbing, and only disturbance from my system only. Okay. This is a some server, some device, some machine. Want 100 GB, 100 GB disk. It want a 100 GB disk is required. Okay, it will require a 100 GB disk. Now it is ask admin give me 100 GB disk. Now what I have done, so I created a 100 GB iSCSI virtual hard disk, iSCSI virtual hard disk in my storage bay. Here I created target. I will create a target for, okay. For example, target name is target one. Just name. So target name is target one, and I will assign this disk to this target. Okay. So in the target one, I will tell this hard disk. Hard disk is this one. Virtual hard disk is this one. Target. In the target, I specify this hard disk for S1. This hard disk for S1. Understand? I created a target and assign a 100 GB to target. In the target, I will tell 100 GB virtual hard disk I created, and it is for S1. It is for S1. So S1 can be recognized by multiple things. Like we can recognize it by S1 either by name, either by name or FQDN. What is FQDN? Okay. Or by IP address. Okay. So through DNS we'll get a FQDN, or by MAC address of the S1, or a IQN number, or a IQN number. Every PC has a unique number is there in their system in a I target iSCSI target. So IQN number is there. So what is it is? We'll see here it is IQN iSCSI. So if you see like this one IQN 2011-21.com, some like this, either by FUDN name or a machine name, computer name. It includes something in it. Okay, so iSCSI qualified name. iSCSI qualified name. Node must have a node name. Node typically take from a standard this one. Generally utility iSCSI I name it is like that. You can just read it. IQN number, iSCSI qualified name. Each device or a PC or a computer server operating system, it generate a IQN number. So S1's IQN number, S1 MAC address, S1 IP address, or S1's FUDN have to mention in the target. So I have to add this is the target, and username of course for authentication. Now what happened in S1, so what I will do in S1, I initiate iSCSI. Okay, so there is an option called iSCSI ini- initiator. Okay, so if you want to see, you can go to your control panel. There you can find it. This is a home. Yeah, initiator. You can see iSCSI initiator. So you can go to this initiator. It is not running. If I run, what will happen? Was not that I open for first time, right? So it is iSCSI initiator in this one. In the initiator, so I will tell about my target, either by target name or by my target server name. I should tell my target name or a target, either by target name or a target server IP address or a name. So it is our name, target server IP address or a name or FQDN to tell. So automatically it is open or not. Yeah, here it is. See, this is iSCSI initiator. This is a target. So you have to tell what is your target name or target server name. Target server has some name, right? So that name. So you have to, once it is, you put it, quick connect, and you can will display. Okay. So this is a target portals. ISANS servers. ISNS servers it is. Favorite targets, volumes and devices, radius, configure. So this is initiator name. Can you see? IQN qualified name. So every PC, it is showing my computer name, Microsoft.com 1991-05. It represent year actually. Okay. So IQN number wise, like target name or target server name or IP address or their FQDN, fully qualified domain name, FQDN, fully qualified domain name. Okay. So when you say in initiator about this target server will give it, check this target, what targets are assigned to this one, and based on that, this hard disk, okay, this hard disk will assign to here. So it will attach it to your physical machine as a local machine. This will attach it to your physical machine as a local hard disk, like you are attaching new hard disk. Okay. If I attach a pen drive, how it shows? The pen drive is a disk like that it will shows, right? Like that it will shows. But physically, we are not attaching anything. Through network only, we are attaching. So this is how HiSCSI will work. Same principle for SAN also, but SAN architecture is little bit bigger one. But already we seen SAN can be used iSCSI. By using iSCSI also we can achieve that SAN target, or like that we can use with a different technique also. Simply it is when I request my server admin create a virtual hard disk in the storage way, and E assigned to a target, and target is assigned to a my server by my server name or IP address, MAC address or IQN number. Whenever I initiate the connection to a server, automatically the request go to the target server and verify the target and what disk assigned to me, it is connected to me. Okay. Jai Nityananda Baba. Me, attach it to me. Is my classes a look like that one sometimes? I think everybody dead. It's okay, no problem. Okay. So this is client iSCSI that run the iSCSI initiator. Client runs iSCSI initiator. Client side, we have a iSCSI iSCSI initiator or a iSCSI iSCSI initiator only. Okay. So client initiate request and target server verify and I'm not getting words, but this is target server storage array, target iSCSI target IP network, IQN. So you can see uh, iSCSI target server that run on a storage device enable access to disk. Okay, initiator software component or a host adapter that when you use HBA host bus adapter, bus adapter is also having a IQN number. So you can give that IQN number instead of your machine IQN number. So this is a target server, that is a target initiators. A lot of advantages are there, like a diskless booting. Okay, diskless booting means your server don't require any hard disk. Okay, heterogeneous storage, server application storage, lab environment authentication, query initiator compound for ID, virtual hard disk support, scalability and manageability in the iSCSI server. There is a few more things are there, InfiniBand, fiber channel or Ethernet fiber channel kind of stuff. Storage components, network adapters are usually on Ethernet, HBA are usually on storage like SAN. Converged network adapters can be used Ethernet. So many are there. Just you can read it, guys. Mm, these are a very simple notes only. Just go through once. It's already 6 o'clock, so I'm just so continue. So one time it will finish. Internet storage name services. I means internet. SNS storage name services. What is this kind of stuff? Internet storage name service. There is a lot of different services are introduced in 2012. Okay, server. So this is like you want to reach the destination, so then how to reach the destination, where is the sun is there, where is the ice kazis are there. So a client don't know, but it's difficult to target one. So then it is a centralized system will provide the ice kazi related information, means everything will get in a one place only. Remember, guys, naming service means normally DNS, right? So when you ask a DNS about your domain IP address for your host or a domain, right? So that is DNS. So if you have a multiple DNS servers, each DNS server having a different kind of information, we can get all the DNS related servers their information through a single server. So like that, this is also works. So how to get it? That is called a IP address management. IPAM concept is there. So we can access multiple, like we can manage multiple DHCP and DNS servers using IPAM. Same concept it is, with a single name you can access a multiple things. Like here it is, three primary components: ISNS server, ISNS client, INS database. What are the advantages? Are they reduce administrative overhead by automating configuration of iSCSI clients. Compatible with iSCSI and fiber channel, can make IP network function like SAN integrated IP and fiber channel seamlessly. It is not at widely spreaded use. It is very simple. It contains a name. Just if you go to the name, then you will get all kind of iSCSI targets and everything. So if you give your request, it will verify your username, MAC address or IP address. Immediately direct your request to iSCSI server. So this is not yet popular, but it's still there. It's a feature in a Windows servers. DCB, data center bridging. Data center bridging. So if you see the picture, like you can see the picture, server 1, server 2, server 3, and one side stop sending, congested path, slow iSCSI send, fast iSCSI send. That you can see. So that is a data center bridging, means you have a multiple SAN storages are there. We can connect different SAN storages using DCB can assign and prioritize and allocate bandwidth to network traffic based on the traffic protocol. So it use some traffic protocol. So it will understand which traffic is more, which side of which storage having less traffic. It divert the traffic into other storages, so then faster access will occurs, and also maintenance will be there easy. DCP can be enabled on any kind of networks, FCOEs, iSCSI, and other NIC traffics. Same physical CNA interfaces. I don't. CNA means congested traffics, whatever it is. Next one is MPIO, multi-path input output. MPIO. So this is another very important part in storage, and not only storage, guys. Like in a storage syllabus, MPIO is not mentioned. Why TRASAR is taken? It is there. No, no, no. We are worked with vSphere, vSphere, and Hyper-V, vCenters, and future you will going to learn cloud. I'm not taking the cloud class, don't worry. Okay, Cypressor will take a cloud class. Okay, he also hands-on experience with the AWS, so that's why we put a cloud for him, for your batch specifically. Okay. So whenever you hear this word, so compulsory you should recollect few things. Okay, so what is MPIO? Multipath input output. So whenever you have a servers, like a vSphere servers or a Windows servers or anything, so you have to access the storage. So but it is always a single side path of a storage, like either through this network adapter or this HBO only. But for a redundancy purpose, better to access the storage with a multi-paths. Okay, multi-path input output. So no need to go with a one single side. If one line is down, no problem. Still we can able to access it. So redundant network adapters, converged network adapters are a HBS in the server, MPIO enabled on the server, like dual switches. Switches have redundant connection to storage devices, redundant storage devices. It means it is like a mesh topology. Okay, if one side of connection is down, still no problem. We can access the storages. So that is MPIO means not in a single path. So multi path we can access the data storage. So that is called MPIO. Yeah, you know that SMB already I told server messaging block, shared file technique. Practically, I said no, so they are not giving any sense. So this is about guys. This is about your ride, but ride really required fresh mind, not a sleepy mind. Okay. Virtual hard disk also there. Even virtual hard disk also this one. My point is, guys, you have to do two things today. By evening I will also check once more my backup PPTs. The technology base backup things also covered only. Yeah, I am collecting some information. So once I finish the backup, you can do it. So what is your tomorrow's